Why hello dear viewers, and today I have found some amazing feminist cringe for us all to laugh at and to just share and bask in the glory of what truly is a very desperate ploy by a bunch of desperate feminists trying to stop what could be one of the most successful documentaries ever undertaken in the history of ever, or at least in terms of its message. I don't know if financially this film will be a success. That is of course up to you and me, the dear public. Now, what film am I talking about, and why are these people triggered over this particular film? Well, this film is The Red Pill by Casse Jaye, and for those of you who don't know, The Red Pill is a documentary about the manosphere and the men's rights movement in particular, and how everything has been going on with that over the years, and especially now in 2016 with all that's been going on. Now, the reason why the feminists are triggered by one of their own, or at least quote unquote their own, making this particular film is simple, because it's a balanced look. All the MRAs that I know, I'm not an MRA myself, but all the MRAs or the egalitarians and the equity feminists that I know have said that it's apparently really good. It's balanced, it takes a fair look, it has some valid criticisms and valid praise, and it looks at both sides, but with the MRAs in particular, because originally this was meant to be the hit piece that these feminists want it to be. But then she researched it for 2 years and suddenly decided that no, I can't make this a hit piece because this is not what my preconceived ideas about the movement are. These rumours, these thoughts that I've had that have been told to me by fellow feminists are wrong. And that's what they don't like. They don't want this particular film, which may change the mainstream's opinion if it becomes successful. So why not start a change.org petition, that good old website that will sort all society's ills out in one go. And this is what we're going to take a look at here. Stop Palace Cinemas screening the Red Pill film. Yes, it's not even worldwide, people, not even worldwide. It's a very localised change.org petition, but nonetheless, it is in Melbourne, where a lot of the crazy feminists and quite a lot of MRAs, funnily enough, come from. And this is where it's debuting, I believe, in Australia, and Bain666 talked about this. Quite a few people have talked about it. It's already had its debut in America, where the Honey Badgers went down and had a look, as well as Gigi from that Dirty Sexy Monogamy, who got brilliantly taken down by Karen Strom. So anyway, why is it that these people don't want Palace Cinemas to show this particular film? But first, before we get into that, let's just take a look at how many people have signed this petition so far. Wow, would you believe it? 1,873 people have signed this petition out of 2,500 as of recording. Now, this was started by Susie Smith. Of course, it wouldn't have been a man who started this unless he was a particularly bad beta, but hey, we won't be having any of those words because Christy Winters doesn't like it. So let's see their reasoning, and let's see how exactly they're going to convince Palace Theatres, who have already agreed to do this, from stopping the Red Pill film from being screened. Kino Cinema in Melbourne is scheduled to screen misogynistic propaganda film The Red Pill in just over 2 weeks. Yes, a misogynistic propaganda film made by a woman. Casse Jaye is a woman, Susie. Why would she make a movie hating on her own gender? Why would it be misogynistic when it's actually talking about men and their rights movement? Because then it would be misandrist, but the film is not misandrist. It's a balanced look, almost a favourable look upon that movement. But hey, whatever. They've obviously not seen it. They've just been watching Jezebel. They've been watching all those other videos out on the web where they've been decrying it. They've been reading The Guardian, The Independent, you know, take your pick, all the rags. Filmmaker Casse Jaye follows members of online hate group The Red Pill. The Red Pill is not a hate group. The Red Pill is a metaphor. There are red pillars, and there is an Red Pill on Reddit, but they're not an online hate group. They're kind of like a movement that's similar to MGTOWs and PUAs, but different. But hey, whatever, they don't know about this. The manosphere is all the same, people. Known to most as the sexist cesspit of the internet. Who's most? Because I'm pretty sure they mean feminists. The general plot line goes something like this. There's a plot line, it's a documentary. There's not really a plot line, there may be a narrative, but it's not a fiction. There is no plot to this. But let's not get technical about this. Let's just see what they have to say again. Feminist, in inverted commas. There's already no true Scotsmaning her. I mean, to be fair, I kind of did. But that's because she said that her views have been challenged somewhat, and she's had to reevaluate her worldview. So yeah, whatever, but let's continue, she's still a feminist. Jay decides to investigate rape culture, opens the first hit on Google, Red Pill, and before she knows it, she has seen the light and converted to Meninism. Meninism is a satire. It's not real. It's a group of guys on the internet, mainly on Twitter. They do have their own website, I do believe, taking the piss out of you. It's a mockery and satire of feminism. All they do is rearrange words from women to man and make jokes based on what you say. You're confusing Meninism with men's rights activism, with the men's rights movement, not MRAs! And by the way, this is clearly not what the film is about. She's actually just making a documentary about how it works, how it runs, what the people are like, what they believe. She doesn't convert to it. She just decides that yes, there's a lot of overlap in our beliefs, and I have decided to rethink my worldview. That's what she's done, but she's still a feminist. She's not actually converted or anything. She just found that a lot of what she believed is wrong. The documentary's star, A Voice for Men's Paul Elam, is a pro-rape racist who in 2010 wrote, "Should I be called to sit on the jury for a rape trial? I vow publicly to vote not guilty, even in the face of overwhelming evidence that the charges are true." Ah yes, that old adage of Paul Elam being everything that is satirical articles claim him to be. He's not. One, they have no evidence that he raped anybody, and he's not pro-rape. And by the way, no citation at all for that quote. He also claimed online that young women walk through life with the equivalent of "I'm a stupid conniving bitch, please rape me" neon sign glowing above their empty little narcissistic head. Thank you Alan Scherstl for these particularly offensive quotes. Quotes taken from his film review here at The Village Voice. And yeah, at The Village Voice, I'm totally going to believe them, and it's totally not quote mined in any way. And look people, Bane666 has done an entire video series where he has gone through all these articles and shown how what the feminists say is not what the articles are in reality and what he's saying in reality. So in a country where 1 in 3 women are victims of gender-based violence, it is repulsive to legitimise and promote this behaviour. Ah yeah, of course, that old fake statistic. I mean, isn't it 1 in 4? Now it's 1 in 3. You see, these people, they can't even stay consistent on their points and their statistics. But when you're basing your entire worldview on faulty statistics, where they basically say that for like attempted kissing, other stuff like this that might not be assault or anything like that as gender-based violence, then you're having a big issue there. But hey, whatever people, the cringe must continue for a little while longer. This is the kind of disgusting, violent message that is totally out of line with Australian values and law. Earlier this year, Peter Dutton refused to a visa to red-pilled Dariush Rush Valizade, and in 2014, Julian Blanc had also had his visa cancelled. Ah yeah, pickup artists. One, by the way, did a satirical article, although that said, there's probably more evidence that is damning of him, but they always pick that one satirical article, but never mind, even though he had no right to be banned at all. And Julian Blanc, who, like Rush V, is mainly there to help guys, although it's not really helping, it's more like using them to make money, to get laid. That's all they're trying to do. Please do not associate your cinema with the kind of people who teach men how to violate women physically and emotionally. Please stand with the women everywhere and do not promote misogynistic hate. Yeah, because you speak for all women, Susie. You speak for all of them. No, you don't. And this is the issue with you people. You don't speak for all women. There will be women watching that film. A woman made that film. There were female MRAs in the film who watched the film and also reviewed it, the Honey Badgers for example. And by the way, isn't it interesting that they say that basically Julian Blanc and Rush V are like red pill MRAs basically, even though they're PUAs. But hey, you know, like I said, all the manosphere is the same to these people. Please cancel your screening of the red pill. Big emphasis on cancel. Whoa. For another article, please see man boobs. Well, it's just so cliched. You could think it was a troll, but it's not a troll, people. This is real. This is what they're like, these feminists, especially in Melbourne. So yeah, this is a little snippet of what I wanted to show you of what has been quite a backlash from feminists, and long may it continue because the film is only going to get bigger from this. The publicity will only increase, as we know from experiences with other films that aren't even documentaries. I leave you with this. Don't cancel it, Kino Cinemas, don't cancel it. You're doing a good job. You're allowing people to see things that they don't normally see in the mainstream, and you're helping an indie filmmaker practically become more successful now since they dropped their funding from her, because she was initially being funded by feminists, I think, or some kind of film company that is feminist based, I don't know. And when they found she's becoming more balanced, they dropped her, and she took to Kickstarter, and it just so happened that us shitlords helped back it, and that's why she's here today, and this is why it's becoming so successful. So people, I could continue, but I'm afraid I must go. So until next time, see you later.